Hey guys, I'm Alex Sandra, and this is my special guest from 2morrows, June, local pop punk Bay Area band.
I'm Marcos. I'm the lead singer of 2morrows, June, from Richmond, California.
Okay, let's get straight.
I do this too.
Oh my God, I'm sweating. Why did you get into music?
It was early on as a kid. I was singing in church. You know, we grew up going to church and stuff. Me and my brother, who's the guitar player in our band. We love performing and stuff like that. And when we found the rock bands that we grew up with, specifically like Spanish rock bands, and then getting into the pop punk, growing up, we were like, oh, we really want to do that. And so we got our first guitars and essentially just started, writing music and stuff. And it was love at first note.
How old you were back then?
I had to be at least 11, so my brother was I was either 10 or 11. My brother was probably like 8 or 9.
When I was 11, I was into Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys.
Oh, same. I had Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Jonas Brothers, All American Rejects, and then you throw in something random like Prince, because my dad was into Prince and Michael Jackson. So.
When I was 11, I was like into pop music, and then when I was 14, this is where I discovered rock music.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, and it suits my soul so well.
Yeah.
Since that, I just couldn't stop.
Oh, yeah. When I was 12, 13, I remember, I started seeing all my favorite rock musicians, and I would, get Sharpies and stuff, and I started giving myself tattoos, and my parents would be so mad at me because I'm, wasting all their Sharpies, drawing on my skin, and they're like...
Now you have legit...
Now I have legit tattoos. Now I'm like those rock stars.
Yeah, I also did tattoo on my back, and I want to remove it because it's so ugly. The thing is that, listen, tattoos are expensive.
Yes.
And when you're a young teenager, if your parents are not supporting what you're doing, you're trying to find this cheap-ass tattoo artist who can help you with that. So I found one guy, he was barely sober. So I came to his home and I was like, are you okay? Can you really make tattoo, do tattoo for me? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, I got
My tattoo looks It's huge and ugly and cheap.
Everyone has at least one bad tattoo.
My teenage daughter, she said she wants tattoo. I told her, as soon as you turn 18, if you still want to have tattoo, I'll take you to legit, very high quality tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And he will make for you great quality tattoo.
For sure. Oh, it's nice now that we're in an age where we don't have to go looking for our friends to do it.
That's true.
You can definitely, there's so many good tattoo artists out there, so definitely be safe when you're doing that, guys.
Oh yes, because when you go to DIY tattoo artists, you never know. If you are not familiar with the whole tattoo culture and stuff, you will not be even able to notice if this needle he uses is clean or sterilized or whatever.
Well, just even I've gotten a couple homeboy tattoos, and we did it in his garage, and you're just like, oh, the needles are clean, but the area around it is not clean.
Oh my God.
And that's that's important too, so definitely be careful.
I
wouldn't recommend it.
No.
No.
Children, be careful.
Be very careful.
Save your money and find a good tattoo artist with good reviews on Google Maps. I was actually into piercing a lot.
Okay.
So I also haven't had enough money for a legit piercing salon. So I would do it myself, or I would ask my boyfriend to do that for me, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I remember it was snowboarding festival. It was winter. I remember I had this green colored hair. And I was like, you know what? I want eyebrow piercing. We just used the medical needle, and I took my earring out of my ear. We sharpened my earring.
Oh, no.
So we, right there on the snowboarding festival, just went through
in there.
and then put my earring.
Yeah.
Then next day I lost it, and I put just a pin,
Safety
pin. And back then I was like, oh, this is so cool. I'm such a badass girl. Now I'm thinking, what?
Yeah. Similar story. I did that when I was 16. Me and my cousin, I wanted my ears pierced, and I was too afraid to... we couldn't go to the store because I had to be 18, and my parents were not having... I was doing bad in school, and they weren't letting me pierce my ear. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it myself. And we got ice cubes, and we numbed them. And then I was too afraid... this is weird, but I am afraid of needles. I don't like shots. Tattoos are fine, but I can't do shots. And basically, we got a rounded back earring and she just kept pushing it through until it went through.
God.
And all you heard was pop, pop, pop. And it just going through cartilage, going through skin, and we finally got him through. But I had one earring up here and one down here, and it was so uneven.
It's like uneven. That's why you decided to do tunnels?
Yeah, I decided to go gauging recently. I was like, well, this is more of another story. Like on the personal level, like I want to start doing things that I've always wanted to do. So like getting my ears gauged and stuff, getting all the tattoos that I want now that I'm getting older, and I want to get it done before
certain age.
Yeah, before I'm 40 at least.
So you're all covered.
Yeah, that way I can enjoy it a little bit.
I think tattoos become kind of cool now, like because back in the days, some grandma on the street would tell me, like, especially I'm from Eastern Europe and Middle Eastern-ish Eastern Europe, and people would like, why are you doing this? Or grandma would be like, only prisoners has tattoos.
Yep.
And being a rock musician actually was considered something bad. People would be like, oh my God, drug addicts. And I was like, have you heard of Linkin Park? There's a bunch of nerds doing great music. Like, Chester had some hard times with drugs, but still, like, not every rock musician is drug addict.
Right.
It's outdated terms.
The neck tattoo was that one from my grandparents. They were like,
so
prisoners have neck tattoos. I'm like, yeah, it's a different time, Grandma. It's okay.
I personally think when someone has neck tattoos or sleeves, it looks so hot. Like, really, no matter girl or boy, like you guys have all of that, it's like, chef's kiss.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel like people are not taking you seriously enough because of your tattoos whenever you are like representing a company or something like that?
For me specifically, I've been very lucky that most people will look at me, and I don't know if it's because I'm small and they're like, oh, I could take that guy, no problem.
You don't look dangerous?
Yeah, I don't look dangerous at all. I'm 5'6". Like, there's nothing to me. But as far as like, you'll get grandmas every once in a while giving you like the eye, or like, you get some aunts and uncles be like, you ever want a real job? I'm like, I have a real job. It's they're cool with it. Yeah, they're cool with it.
Justify yourself, huh?
I got these when I was at this job, and they're totally fine with it. Yeah, there's still some backlash. I think it's a lot better than it used to be. That is for sure. I remember 20 years ago when I was a kid and I was like, I want tattoos like that. It was still very looked down upon. People were hiding them. And now you're seeing, judges with tattoos. You're seeing a bunch of cops with tattoos. You're seeing everybody with tattoos that in the traditional form wouldn't have tattoos.
Now time becomes better in terms of accepting different subcultures and different type of like appearances, because when I was in high school I really struggled a lot. Like, for example, my body type considered good now because I'm a curvy. No matter how thin I am, I still have big ass. So like back in like early 2000s when I was in high school, people would like comment on my shapes and like telling me that I need to like diet or something. Like, now we have like lots of different type of beauty standards where we don't really feel pressured, and tattoos also kind of that, like you can have piercing and you can have tattoos, and at work as a professional you should be accepted no matter the way you look.
I'll say this, I do understand if you just like have a giant cursor tattooed on your forehead. Yeah, I might not necessarily want to, hire you at Build-A-Bear Workshop, but, other than that, I get it,
Before I moved to America, I lived and worked in Asia, and I actually, whenever I was hired for big brands, like especially car shows, so imagine I'm performing for this big brand, and I'm wearing this shoulder-off evening dress, gown, like long dress, and the agent would run around me and like, oh my God, you have a tattoo on your back, oh my God, in order you to get paid, and I get to pay, we need to cover this up because it's our contract. I don't have too many. This one is from Las Vegas. This one is from Taiwan.
Other countries are still very,
I just, whenever I travel, I kind of make a little tattoos here and there for fun. So you guys exist as a band, right? Have you been always a band, or you have been solo musician before? How did it start?
Me and my brother got our first guitars and stuff. Our godbrother actually got his first guitar the same year. And so we lived pretty close to each other, and we went back and forth. We were jamming with each other at each other's houses like every day during summers. And we ended up, we're like, let's be a band. Let's actually do this. But we started off as a Beatles cover band.
Oh, Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow.
True story. We weren't good, but that's how we started. And then later on, we weren't really gigging. We were just kind of in our bedroom, and this after-school program reached out to us, and they were like, "Hey, we have a music program. We're trying to revive it. Do you guys want to come join?" And we did, and that band was called The Originals, which is the most unoriginal name for a band ever.
I mean, all big bands has kind of weird names.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tomorrow's June is not any better, but...
It's memorable. It was so easy for me to remember.
Yeah. Basically, we joined this after-school program, and we ended up getting good enough where every event in Richmond wanted us. And so we were skipping school, basically, to, go play these shows, and we started getting, $20-$50 here and there and stuff, and... So it was really cool. We learned all of our chops from there. And then when we kind of aged out at the age of we we're kind of getting over high school and stuff. Then we came back as Tomorrow's June and really started taking it serious. We had a couple managers at the time, and those situations didn't work out, but it taught us so much to how to be independent, and that ended up kind of taking our path the way it is.
So you started as a high schoolers, and you're guys still together, huh? It's been a decade already.
Yeah. So it's been a long time, unfortunately. we were just talking about this earlier. Some of our favorite bands were big or famous already by the time we were our age. But
my friend, who is bass player and also manager, he told me hey Alex, don't forget, you are doing really true stuff right now. You are keep pushing without any funding, without any label behind. What you're doing is real art. You're talking about your experience through music. This is real artistry, and this is what actually is considered as a good underground music. Yes, that's rough. I wish I could pay my bills with music, but we are forced to make money from somewhere else to keep funding our music. So we are believing to our startup, but it's hard. I actually originally started in the band too. I joined my first band when I was 15, and it was really fun because I remember I was in grade 9. On grade 7, I discovered Linkin Park for the first time in my life. Me and my friend from school, we went to her place to do some makeover. And then we stepped into her brother's room, and her brother was 2 years older than us, playing video games. He had Linkin Park playing, and that was In the End.
Oh, wow.
And when I heard this, I got stuck for a few seconds, and I was keep asking, what is this?
Yeah.
And they were like, what do you mean, what is this? I was like, this music, what is this? It sounds different. And the brother was playing, and he was like, this is Linkin Park. And I was like, Linkin Park. So since then, I was really obsessed with music, rock music particularly, alternative, new metal and stuff. So later in, I dived in and realized that this is different bands and different rock genres. So I started looking for a band. I was 15 and my bandmates were 19. Okay. And I was like, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm with these old adult people. Yeah. And I've been mostly on alternative rock bands. And we kind of, when I was in my early 20s, we became pretty popular locally. I still have sometimes on my previous TikTok account, people would be like, oh my God, Alex, is that you? I've been at your show
That's cool.
In early 2000s. Yeah. Oh my God, I was obsessed with your music. Okay, it doesn't happen too often, but once in a while somebody would recognize me.
Yeah.
And back then I was a brunette. Looked totally different when I had black hair. So it takes time to recognize that was actually me. It was era when rock music was cool and being underground artist was
it.
It was the best of the best.
Right.
Nowadays, social media is not only for artists or musicians or creative projects. Social media is your business card. If you have a small business and you don't have a social media, there's very rarely something good behind it. When I'm looking for something and they don't have a social media, I'm like, okay, I
You're a little sketched
find
out.
something else. The thing is that social media is your business card. Social media presence means a lot in this era. And you're kind of forced to learn what works. And some of us are good at this, some of us not very good. But as you said, it's totally different game, and it has its own rules and its own ethics.
If you're a small band today and you're not using social media, I think you're missing out. That exposure online is so huge.
And one of the biggest things what social media does, not only for artists, is that it doesn't only forms exposure, it also forms the trust. Like, for example, we met online. I actually follow you for over 6 months, I think.
Oh, wow.
I've seen you being on television for interview.
Yeah.
I've seen you working on your TikToks. I kind of follow you for a while. I kind of feel like that I can trust you. And that's why I immediately reached out to you to open for the show. We're playing together in June. Just because I knew like I want to work with someone I can rely on. There are so many like flaky people in this industry, and you want to be with someone who is committing actually time and effort, because I already like invest so much of my time. I want to work with someone who I can trust.
You definitely want to work with people that are on the same mindset and grind as you. Just music advice here, but like if you really want to get out with other bands, you really want to get out on shows and stuff, you have to be putting in and showing people that you're putting in that work. It doesn't have to be great. Like, you don't have to have the best results or anything.
Yeah. Just be there.
Just
show
be
up.
there. Yeah, show up. I think that's the biggest part. And people appreciate that.
What I figured that every platform has their own format, and it has like different type of ways of presenting information. TikTok is sometimes can be a long video, but it should be like certain weight, looks and feels. The best stories which are doing well without filter, ugly stories where I'm crying, sobbing right on the like freaking camera, because stories is all about your real life. Nobody wants to see your freaking filtered face. Yeah, people are like tired of this. So Instagram stories, in my opinion, is just for real life. You sobbing, you're cooking, you're looking crap, or you're looking best of your life because today you had like 5-hour makeup session or whatever. YouTube videos is more like educational content, fun content, or entertaining content. I don't know how you guys meet people nowadays without social media. Every freaking relationship I formed in my life for the last 15 years was through internet. I met my husband on Tinder in China. Now, if you're not using internet for your life, I don't know what you are doing. What's your favorite cuisine?
This is a hard one because I'm ADD, right?
You're ADD?
Yeah,
diagnosed I didn't know.
A long time ago. So it changes. It's like pizza.
Pizza?
I love pizza.
What's your favorite pizza?
Very simple. Cheese. I like pepperoni, salami, and like the meat lovers pizza, but even that's too much for me. Sometimes just a good, solid like pepperoni pizza. It's like thin crust.
Oh yeah.
Not thick. I don't like deep dish. That's disgusting. And then you go to like sushi, and then Italian.
Sushi. Oh my god.
I'm a sucker for fettuccine alfredo.
Oh my god.
If you have that on the menu, I will 99%. We could be at a Mexican restaurant, and for some reason, if they have fettuccine alfredo, I will get fettuccine alfredo.
Well, here's fun fact.
Okay.
I worked in pizzeria, and I was a pizza maker in my youth, a long time ago. And I calculated how many pizzas I did. So I actually made over 1,099 pizzas in my life.
So you're an expert in pizza making. That's what you're
well,
saying.
hold on. Let's don't forget, it was Eastern Europe, and I was making American pizza in Eastern Europe. And I was so proud of it because I had this shirt, and the name of the cafe was American Hot Pizza Cafe.
That's funny.
So, like, this is where I tried my first quesadilla, my first burrito, and I learned how to cook pizza. Eastern European American pizza.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, pepperoni was my favorite because it was the most artistic. Because you like put all those pepperonis on the slices, and I actually had the best hookups in that restaurant. It was best time of my life. God bless that pizzeria. Oh, I had a great time there. My favorite cuisine is also Italian.
Okay.
Even though I'm from Georgia, and Georgian people would never forgive me favoring Italian over Georgian food. But in my defense, I love Georgian food too. It's very delicious.
What's a staple in Georgian food?
Famous dish from Georgian cuisine is a cheese boat. Cheese pie, like it's in the shape of the boat, and there is like egg in the middle and butter. Anyways,
let's do it.
Georgian food is very good, but I also love Italian.
Yeah.
Like Italian food, I don't know how you guys did this. Like, So Italian, Georgian, and Mexican.
We got her. It's so funny. I realized this the other day, but like everyone's got their own opinion about what the best taco truck is or Mexican restaurant is out here, and it's gonna be a fight forever. Like no one's ever gonna agree. But I realized that most of these places are actually really good. You just had it so much that you can be like, I'm tired of this good one, and I'm going to go to this other one. And they make it slightly different, whatever, but like, there's just so many good options out here that you can think that there's bad ones out here.
In my country, Mexican food is considered fancy food because Mexico is so far away from Eastern Europe, from like Georgia, from Turkey. Like, it's so far, it's considered fancy foreign food. But whenever you go to like Mexican restaurant, it's like most likely going to be high-end Mexican fusion salads with cactus and stuff.
Gotcha.
And when I came to America, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to try all of this Mexican food. It took me forever to start calling corn chips because I honestly thought corn chips are nachos. So I was like, oh, I want some nachos. And my husband was like, it's not nachos.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I didn't know it's called corn chips.
And it's so funny because like you wouldn't even call it corn chips here. Like you call it corn chips.
How do you call it?
Just chips.
Chips.
If you're going to a Mexican restaurant,
and you say chips and
you
they
just
know
say
what
chips
you're
and salsa.
talking
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't think they have other options.
I know it's already like May, but let's talk about like what's your goals for this rest of the year and like how you are planning to start 2025.
Yeah, so I have a whiteboard that is filled with all my goals.
I'm so glad you came. Oh my God, this person
we're on the same
has
page?
a whiteboard. Oh my, where have you been all of this time?
Dude, I have a whiteboard that's got all my goals for 2024 that I want to hit. I'm shooting for the stars, building our Spotify monthly listeners. It's building the TikTok following, building the Instagram following and stuff. Doing more shows outside of the Bay Area. So like, the show that we're doing with you is going to be the only show that we're doing in the Bay so far that we have planned.
I see you guys going to Sacramento?
We've been hitting Sacramento. We just got word today before we came here that we might be going to Arizona.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
We're hitting Sacramento, Folsom, Ukiah. We hit Modesto. We might be doing Santa Cruz soon. So it's all California, but we're trying not to be in the Bay Area. And that was very strategic because what happens is you don't end up building too much of a fan base. You get the same people coming.
Yeah.
And if they've seen you once or twice, you know, our sets don't change too often.
Yeah. Unique listener has such a high value.
Yes.
And it's really hard because nowadays you perform for venues, you book, and you draw people there.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is like a lot of our people are not from San Francisco, but the best venues to play at are in San Francisco. So like, it's hard to get people out here specifically.
People don't want to cross the Bay Bridge.
I'm planning on recording new music. We're going back to LA in the end of this month, and we're gonna go record.
Oh, how cool! Where you guys perform?
We're not performing. We're recording.
Oh, record! Yeah. I actually recorded in LA too.
Oh, nice.
With producer Nick is actually from Bay Area.
Cool.
And I actually go to LA to produce my music because all cool people are in LA.
Yeah. The reason we go to LA is because all the big dogs are out there. They're competitive.
Yeah.
As competitive as we are with our social media and stuff like that, they're competitive with the music because they have to be.
Yes. For sure.
And they're not giving you, crap stuff. And I love that. Also, it's just nice to get away from the Bay Area once in a while.
Yeah, it's a kind of nice change. I know you travel, road trip with your band.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds fun.
We got merch that we're working on. We're trying to introduce 2 new pieces of merch right now. Our website at www.tomorrowsdream.com.
Cool.
We're kind of working on a streetwear fashion line rather than merch. So something I was like telling the band and like more of our followers was that I'm tired of going to shows and seeing them price things that's so... I know why they're pricing them high, because they need to make money.
Like your hoodie,
yeah,
$35, $45.
Well, not even that, they're $80 now.
Oh my God,
80.
I sell my merch with very low price.
Yeah. Our hoodies for $80 or $70 or $60, I want to make sure that they're really good quality. I want to make sure that I'm getting stuff that I can put my hands on and be like, I would wear this. I'm very into like, I don't want merch. I want something that you are willing to wear, like this, Nirvana shirt. People don't even like the band necessarily, but they'll wear a Nirvana shirt.
I actually love merchandise shirts.
I do too.
You guys,
I love band
if you
shirts.
will someday do System of a Down, you should call me and I'll order a shirt with System of a Down. My goals for 2024 are also pretty clear. Focus on growing social media. As we said, having unique listeners is like the most important thing. it's cool to have core fans, and that's great. And I love my core fans, and they're amazing. But also, I need like bigger exposure to in terms of getting the goals I have, right? Performing different cities. 2024 is about performing good quality shows, releasing music. This year, I'm actually releasing 10 singles. That's a big step forward. And
That's
given to that,
great.
I'm a solo artist, and every time I drive to LA to record the song,
Yeah, that's not cheap.
that's investment. But I am super proud with music I released this year. And you know what? I can tell you this. When you release one song a month, or like every 6 weeks you have new song coming, I myself more interested, because when you write this song, then you practice your song, then you go to record your song, then you do mastering, the mixing, mastering. By the time of release, you are like so tired of your own song already, right? But when you release one song after another, you keep like in a good shape, and also you're excited for your song.
That's a lot of prep work, though.
Exactly. And I'm still learning lyrics for my upcoming singles because like I don't remember. I like wrote them with my co-writers, and I'm like using my own freaking phone to sing along.
That's
so
funny.
like I really keep forgetting my lyrics. But then I remind myself, Adele keeps fucking up her lyrics all the time. So like who am I to complain?
Yep.
On June 22nd, we have a rock show coming at amazing new venue in San Francisco called Music City. That venue is clean, family friendly. You
Yep.
can bring your, I don't know, teenagers, friends, children if you have. So we have actually amazing bands performing the day. We have Tomorrow's June, then we have Used to Be Valentine, kind of headline that show.
Also, just don't want to leave the city. There's hotels connected to it.
Oh yeah,
There's
Music City has a hotel.
Music City is a hotel as well.
It's very music themed, like
Yeah.
so cool.
There's just no excuse not to come to our show.
If you're craving really cool DIY rock music, this is the place for you to come, because I actually as a rock music lover, I crave shows like that. So
Yeah.
little advertisement.
No, love it.
Thank you for watching the whole thing. Bye.